Okay, guys, slowly we'll start now. See, I'm coming from advanced Java. Okay, simple advanced Java. Guys, the advanced Java purpose is to developing web application, to developing web application, and simply we can call see in J2 double E, J2 double E, in J2 double E used for to develop web applications, develop web application. But to develop any web application, we required three types of packages. We required three not packages, three types of APIs. Three types of APIs. The first API is nothing but a JDBC API. JDBC API. The purpose of JDBC API is okay, establishing connection, from Java application to place any relational databases. Any relational databases. Please understand. Point number one here. We require three types of APIs. So the purpose is what? Establishing connection from Java application to any relational databases. And next point, next point is a servlet API. Servlet API. So this API purpose is, the API purpose is to prepare or to write business logic for okay, web application. Logic for web application. Web application by using servlet class. By using servlet class. And third API, JSP API. JSP API. Even this one also same. Okay, this one also same, to write business logic for web application. Right, business logic for web application. Okay, by using not servlet class, using JSP files. So these are three things compulsory we require. So in advanced Java, to developing any web application, we have three types of APIs we are going to using. The first API is nothing but a JDBC API. The purpose is, guys, just to establish the connection from Java application to database. And next one is servlet API. Servlet API. The servlet API purpose is, purpose is okay, to write business logic for any web application, and JSP API. So this is for okay, it is also write the business logic for any web application by using JSP file. So coming to the next point here, I am going with one more important thing. That is what MVC. MVC. So here MVC is nothing but a architecture. Is a architecture. Guys, nowadays most of the web-based application, most of the web-based application designing with MVC architecture only. Designed with MVC architecture only. And then what is the MVC actually? What is the MVC? So M stands for model. M stands for model. Look at here, guys. The model, okay, the model implemented by JDBC API. Guys, understand JDBC API. And you know why JDBC? You know why JDBC in our advanced Java? The purpose is what? Establishing connection from Java application to database. But in MVC architecture, M stands for model, and the model implemented by JDBC API means a model what can do Java application talk with database. That is the model. Model is nothing but a data. Model is nothing but a data. Data can be maintained within the model layer. The next one is V. V stands for view. V stands for view, and the view layer implemented by JSP APIs. JSP APIs. Guys, I'm giving JSP for design purpose, JSP for designing purpose, and same JSP for to prepare business logic also. To prepare business logic also. Business logic also in our advanced Java application. And next one C stands for controller. C stands for controller. And look at here, guys, and this controller and the controller layer implemented by using servlet API. Servlet API. Guys, understand. So to developing any web application, we have a three types of APIs in advanced Java. The first one is JDBC API. Second one is servlet API. Third one is a JSP API. And JDBC purpose is what? Establishing connection and performing the CRUD operation. Servlet API is what? To write business logic for our any web application by using servlet class. And JSP API for what, sir? JSP API for purpose is to write business logic. If required, we are going to performing designing operation also. And these three APIs slowly I converted into our MVC architecture. MVC architecture. So what I am telling you, if you have a not that much knowledge, if you have a minimum knowledge from JDBC, Servlet, and JSP, that knowledge is enough, guys, to learn our framework. Because of means some basic things required. JD, what can do JDBC, and what is the purpose of Servlet API, and what is the purpose of JSP? These things compulsory required at basic level. So this one is very, very important. Now slowly I am coming from Java framework. Very, very important. Slowly I am coming to topics of Java framework. Java framework. Guys, please understand, in Java we have a nowadays in Java having a three types of frameworks. Okay. Nowadays in Java, very famous very famous frameworks are frameworks are the first one is nothing but a Hibernate framework, and second one is nothing but a Spring framework, and third one is nothing but a Spring Boot framework. So finally, so in Java, how many frameworks we have? How many frameworks we have? Guys, once give me, please. Need your response once. Can you hearing me? Guys, give me your response. Are you following me or not?
Yes, sir.
Okay, please need your response. Okay, so finally, how many frameworks we have in Java? Three types of framework. The first one is Hibernate framework, second one is Spring, and the third one is nothing but a Spring Boot framework. Spring Boot framework. Now, sir, what is the purpose of Hibernate? And understand, guys, here Hibernate framework implemented with okay, the model layer. Model layer. Look at slowly. I am copying from here. Okay, simple thing. The Hibernate framework. Okay, the Hibernate framework, the Hibernate framework implemented for model layer, model layer, model layer, like a JDBC, like a means what? Like a JDBC means how JDBC will work. In the same way, Hibernate will be work. Okay, the Hibernate framework implemented for model layer, like a JDBC. Next one, sir. Next one, and a Spring framework. Okay, the purpose of Spring framework is to developing web application only, to developing web application with concise code, with concise code, with concise code. Concise means what? Very less code, less code. So Spring for purpose is what? To developing web application with a concise code. And the next one, and Spring Boot framework. Okay, the Spring Boot framework purpose is to develop web applications plus plus and REST API applications, and plus we can call Spring what? Microservices application. Okay, services applications nowadays very popular and very important. And this one, sir. So finally, so in Java, how many frameworks we have? In Java, how many frameworks we have? Three types of framework. First one is Hibernate, second one is Spring, third one is Spring Boot. Okay, Hibernate purpose is what? So just to implement the model layer. Okay, how JDBC is working in our Java, same purpose we are using the Hibernate. And Spring purpose is to developing the web application with concise code. And Spring Boot purpose is what? To developing web application plus REST API and microservices also. So these are the frameworks are available in our Java programming language. Java programming language. Sir, now okay. So basically we have a three types of framework. Three types of framework. And actually, what is the framework and why framework? Okay, slowly we'll dig one by one, guys. So just I given what I given, sir. To developing any web application, we have a three types of APIs, and that three APIs simply I converted to MVC architecture. In MVC architecture, say, slowly, okay, slowly we connected. And what is the purpose of EM, and what is the purpose of V, and what is the purpose of C also, right? And next one, sir. Next here, one more important point. And look at here. Okay, Hibernate. First framework is what? Hibernate framework. Hibernate framework. Hibernate framework. Hibernate framework. So the Hibernate framework look at here, very important, for implemented for model layer only. Model layer only. This one is very important. Model layer only. But here Spring plus Spring Boot framework. Spring Boot framework implemented with implemented with three layers, guys. Three layers means what? Model, view, and controller. Three layers. This one is very, very important. So again, I am repeating here. Hibernate framework implemented for only model layer, only model layer. In MVC, Hibernate talk about only model layer. But and Spring and Spring Boot. So what web application you are going to developing, and what REST API you are going to developing, and what microservices you are going to developing, and this application compulsory implemented with our three layers. Three layers is nothing but our MVC layers. MVC layers, please understand. This is the third important point, and don't be confused. Okay, we can use at development time, guys. Very, very important, sir. Okay, so what you said, this one is good, sir. But sir, what is the framework actually? What is the framework? Okay, already to develop Java, to developing web application, servlet technology is there, JSP is there. Again, why they bring the framework concept? So, and what kind of advantages are there in our framework? So we'll see one by one, guys. So before going to starting, so discuss about the framework. So I will tell you one thing, sir, very, very important. Okay, this is my what before movie one caption is there. That caption I am going to giving here. That is very, very important. Simple thing here. One word is there. Working with framework. Working with framework. Working with framework. Working with framework is is nothing but okay, but working with okay, jars and vars file styles. Very, very important this dialogue. Please remember. Very, very important. Very, very powerful. Okay, our online classes subtitle this one for framework. Working with framework is nothing but a working with jars and var files. Jars and var files. Sir, what is a jar and var files? That is very, very important. Now, simple thing, jar. Simple thing, jar. So jar stands for Java archive files. Java archive file. So jar purpose is to develop a stand-alone applications. Stand-alone applications. So simply think, jar is what is jar, sir? Jar is nothing but a Java archive files. Java archive files. Purpose is what? To developing stand-alone application. Standalone application. The next one is a where. Next one is a where. Where stands for web archive files. Web archive files. The purpose is to develop a web applications. Web application plus a dynamic. Simply you can call web applications only. Developing web application we can, I'll write dynamic web applications. Dynamic web applications. Basically web applications are two types, static one and dynamic one. Static one and dynamic one. So here I am calling what? Web applications. Okay, and dynamic web application. The next one is nothing but a EAR. That is nothing but a enterprise enterprise okay enterprise okay archive files. Enterprise archive files. So this is for to developing the what a dynamic applications. Dynamic web applications. Dynamic web applications. Dynamic web application like a ICICI bank, and most of the time commercial applications, guys, like banking sector applications and Amazon websites and Flipkart, like that, especially e-commerce applications designed with ER. So finally, what's the working with framework is nothing but a working with jars and var files. Again I am repeating, working with framework is nothing but working with jar and var files. Here jar stands for Java archive file. Purpose is what? To developing standalone application. Var means web archive file. Purpose is to developing the web application plus dynamic web applications. Er means enterprise archive files, means to developing the dynamic web applications. So look here guys, and why what is the reason behind it, why we are calling working with framework is nothing but a working with jar and var files. So if you understand that point clearly, so I will highlight you one thing, sir. Guys, understand, every Java project or application, every Java project and application, okay, required softwares are, okay, required softwares are, required softwares are. Suppose if you want to develop any web application by using Java programming language, so compulsory we required this software, sir. The first software is nothing but a JDK. First one is what, sir? JDK. So JDK is nothing but a our Java software. Our Java software. You know, guys, suppose you prepared some Java code. Java code must be compiled and must be run. Must be compiled and must be run. Okay, so after complete your code, if you want to compile your code or run your code, compulsory we require JDK software. Without JDK, our Java application won't run in any PC. So the primary software name is what, sir? JDK. JDK. The next one is second software is nothing but a what, a IDE. ID stands for, you know, guys, integrated development environment. So simply, so guys, if you want to compile your code, if you want to type your Java code, what we required, one editor is required. So you know, guys, we are going to using what editor? Eclipse IDE. So Eclipse is required. So Eclipse purpose is what, sir? Editing the Java code. If you want to write the Java code, then compulsory we required one editor. So nowadays, okay, 99% is in industry people, not only industry people, in beginners also, to edit their Java code, compulsory we are going to using the IDEs. The third one is nothing but a one server. That is what? Tomcat server. Tomcat server software. Tomcat server. Guys, if you want to run server side code means a servlet class. Okay, servlet class and JSP files must run inside the Tomcat server only. So means what? If you suppose you are developing web-based application always run in the server, run inside the server. So to run your server side files, compulsory we required what? Tomcat server. The next one and the fourth one, browser is required. Okay, browser, even browser is also, okay, application software, and purpose is what? To run the client side fields. So simply we can call, okay, run static resources, static files. Don't confuse static fields is nothing but a dot HTML files and a dot CSS files and a dot JavaScript files, and these are all are the files run in where, sir? Our browser. And the next software is what? Database software. You know, guys, our Java application won't store the data permanently. To store data permanently, compulsory what we required? Database is required. So here we are going to using like a MySQL database, or we are using Oracle database. So these are things we are going to using to store the database. So finally, what I am telling, if you develop any web application inside the Java compulsory, these all are the softwares mandatory, guys. Please understand. JDK is mandatory, ID is mandatory, Tomcat server is compulsory required to run your web-based application, and browser also required because of browser can run static resources. Okay, and database also required. Database purpose is what? To store the data permanently. Okay, but the reason is what? Our web browser and a server file won't store the data permanently. To store the data permanently, compulsory we required some databases, right? So these are the softwares are required, right? But guys, tomorrow onwards, same web application we are going to developing with our framework concept. So when you develop same web application with framework concept, okay, no need to download and install externally any softwares. Again I am repeating, guys. Okay, we are working with framework. Suppose what web application you are developing with framework, okay, always we are downloading with jars and var file only. So till now what softwares you have in your PC, these softwares are enough. So tomorrow onwards externally we are not going to downloading and not installation any external software. So till what softwares you have, that softwares are enough. Okay, just from internet, just we are going downloading some jars and var files only. Jar and var files. So what I'm telling you, okay, working with framework is nothing but working with jar and var files. Jar and var files. So tomorrow onwards, to develop any web application, no need to download and no need to install the any external softwares. Okay, that's why working with framework is nothing but working with jars and var files. I hope you understand. Please give me clarity, guys, once. Are you following me?
Yes, sir.
Okay, till now, are you clear about this topic? Maheshwari, Pavan, Emmanuel, and KSV. Please once speak out. I need your clarification. Are you following me or not? Okay, thank you. Thank you. Right. So this is our story, sir. And next points are very, very important. Now we know slowly we started framework. So in Java we have a three types of framework: Hibernate, Spring, and Spring Boot. And Hibernate purpose we know, and Spring Boot purpose also we know. But to developing our web-based application, okay, with framework compulsory we are downloading what, sir? Jars and var files only. Jars and var files only. So before going to enter in the framework, so actually, so without a framework, what happened we can say. Okay, if you understand this one, guys, okay, then only power of the framework concept. So now we know, so what software is required, and what API we are going to using to developing our complete web application, right? Okay, sir, suppose I am going developing web application by using servlet and JSP. Good, no problem. But okay, suppose I am not going developing JSP. Okay, if you go with framework, so in framework what kind of advantages are there? Okay, and so why framework is came into the picture actually, and purpose of framework. Okay, we'll discuss one by one, guys. So see, before we're talking about why framework and what is a framework, Mike, I am giving here a question, sir. First, why framework? Why framework first? Why framework? Okay, first question. And second one is what is a framework? What is a framework? What is a framework? And third question is advantages of a framework. Advantages of a framework. Advantages of a framework. Okay, and finally, okay, fourth one, sir, and Java framework names. Java framework names. So we'll discuss one by one. So first one is what? Why framework. What is framework? Advantages of framework and Java framework names. Already you know Java having a three types of framework, guys. The first one is what? The first one is what? Okay, Hibernate framework. Second one is a Spring framework. Third one is nothing but a Spring Boot framework. Spring Boot framework. So no problem. And now we'll go with what is the framework and why framework and advantage of framework and Java framework. So before knowing about that one, sir, just I am giving here one small heading, guys. Okay, every Java web application or project means Java project required 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 not sorry. So here, okay, right, based on okay based on functionality based on functionality based on functionality a Java project, a Java web application, a Java web application or Java project will divided, so will divided divided will divided into three layers, guys. Into three layers. Very, very important. If you understand this one, okay, framework concept is very, very easy. Okay, based on our functionality, a Java web application and Java project divided into three layers. The first layer is nothing but a okay UI layer, guys. UI layer. This is nothing but a we can call presentation layer. What we call presentation layer. So presentation layer, guys, here presentation layer implemented with a .jsp files. .jsp files. The second one is nothing but a what? A business logic layer. Business logic layer. Business logic layer. And this business logic layer implemented with a servlet APIs. Servlet APIs. Simply we can call .java files. .java files. The next one and third one is nothing but a data access layer. Okay, data access layer. Data access layer and data access layer. This layer for what, sir? For storage purpose. Storage purpose and storage, and this layer implemented with JDBC API. You know, just now I given what is the use of JDBC API. What is the use of JDBC API? What is the use of JDBC API? So the storage purpose. This implemented JDBC APIs. JDBC APIs. So guys, understand based on okay based on okay functionality, the Java application and Java project will divide into three layers, guys. The what is the first one? UI stands for presentation layer. Okay, this layer implemented with .jsp file. Simply JS file for what's our designing purpose. What we call, sir? What we call designing purpose. Okay, designing purpose. And business logic for what, sir? To prepare our business logic. To prepare our business logics. To prepare our business logic. And data actually layer purpose is what? For storage purpose. So these three layers, okay, by using these three layers, simply we are going to developing our web-based application. Now coming to the point, guys, here. Coming to the point, now I am going to drawing one beautiful diagram. There only you can easily understand. Okay, the power of presentation layer. Okay, paint. Okay, finally to developing any web application, how many layers we have, guys? Need your response. How many layers we have, guys? Please.
3 layers, sir.
Okay, 3 layers. What is the first one?
Presentation layer.
Good. Second one is?
Business logic layer.
Third one is?
Data storage means.
Okay, database.
Yes, sir.
Database. Okay, data access layer for database. Okay, look at here. Now I am giving one beautiful diagram, sir. Okay, the first image. This is nothing but our presentation layer. Means look at presentation layer. The presentation purpose is what? Okay, just I given one button, login button, or I given something called submit button. Submit button. This one. Okay, guys, this we are this is what our presentation layer. What presentation layer. Presentation layer. The presentation layer purpose is what, sir? Take the user inputs here. The purpose of presentation takes the user inputs. Take the user inputs. If required, check the validation. If required, check the validation and submit data to the business logic layer. So the purpose of, and this layer implemented with which files? .jsp files. So by using .jsp file, or we can use a .html. Okay, .html file. We are going to designing these web pages. So simply you are going to designing web pages. Okay, designing web pages for what? Presentation layer. Presentation layer. The presentation layer purpose is what? Take the user inputs. Take the user inputs, and if required, check the validation. Validation means what? What data you given here. If that data is what correct or wrong. So if data is correct, data can be submit to the business logic layer. Means it can collect all the user data, and simply after collecting user data, it can check the validation if the given data valid or not. If data is valid, slowly data can transfer from presentation layer to the business logic layer. So now I am giving one more layer. This is what's our business logic layer, and this business logic layer we are implementing with two ways: .java files or .java files only. .java files only. Okay, and in this .java file we are writing here four types of files, four types of code. The first one is what? A presentation logic. Presentation logic. This is nothing but a input statements. Input statements. Input statements. And next one is nothing but a BL. Means what? Business logic for what's a processing statement. Processing statements. Processing statements. Please understand, sir. Okay, in Java file we are writing input statements, we are writing, and processing statement means what? Business operation writing. And suppose, okay, after performing which business operation, suppose you want to save your data into database, then here write our database connection code we are writing. Simple words, sir. DB connection statements we are writing here with a JDBC code. Finally, we are writing here again presentation logic. This is nothing but a output statements. Output statements. So finally, what's our in Java application? What we are writing? Okay, just we are taking the inputs, and according to our business operation, we are performing some business logic here. Finally, if you want to store this data in database, okay, we are storing data into the database. Finally, we are getting the output, and this is nothing but a what we call what a business logic layer. Business logic layer. Business logic layer. So understand, guys. Okay, here presentation layer purpose is what? Take the user inputs. Take the user inputs and check the validation. If validations are correct, and presentation layer transfer the data from presentation layer to the business logic layer, and business logic layer perform the business operation according to our principle, mean our business operation. And finally, okay, if you want to store the data permanently, okay, permanently, then our data okay, transfer to the data access layer. This is nothing but what's our data access layer. This is what? Data access layer. Data access layer. Okay, simple thing. The data access layer purpose is what? Store the data permanently. Store the data permanently. Okay, within the database tables. Within the database table. So coming to the point, sir, if you want to store the data permanently, compulsory we required, okay, database. In database, we are going to store the data permanently. So what happened here? After performing business operation, simply data can be stored into the database. Okay, tomorrow, sir, I given first flow here. Okay, presentation layer to the business logic layer to the database. Tomorrow, sir, if you want to see my data back, then again what, sir? From data access layer to the business logic layer and business logic layer to the our presentation layer. Okay, so this is the original diagram to developing any web application, guys, right? And clearly I am telling, sir, okay, the purpose, again I am repetition, the presentation layer purpose is what? To take the user inputs and to check the validation. If the validations are correct, and presentation layer transfer the data from, wow, data from presentation layer to the business logic layer, and business logic layer perform some business operation based on our requirement. Finally, if you want to store the data, okay, in database, business logic layer transfer data to the database and database store the data permanently. So this is nothing but our every servlet web application having a three kinds of layer. Okay, even if you develop this web application by using framework, there also we are using these three layers only, but the layer name will be changed, sir. Okay, the name is what? So tomorrow onwards, what we call, okay, this is nothing but a view layer. What we call? View layer. And this is nothing but a controller. What we call? This is nothing but a controller. And finally, this is nothing but a model, guys. Model. So even if you develop your web-based application by using framework, what layer are you using, sir? Model and view and controller. Are you understand, guys? So this presentation layer is nothing but a view layer, business logic layer is nothing but a control layer, and data access layer is nothing but a model layer. That is what MVC. That is what? MVC. Same presentation layer, business logic layer, data access layer. Okay, we are converted in framework is nothing but a MVC pattern. MVC pattern. The pattern is nothing but a model, view, and controller. So our Spring Boot web application divided into three logical part. Okay, one is a designing part, second one is a business logic part, and third one is nothing but a database part, guys. Right? So story is not yet completed, just I given the, okay, what is the purpose of three layers, and tomorrow we'll see, while we are developing application, while we are writing the code for these three layers in servlet, especially in servlet, what happened, and because of that one, slowly we are going to moving to our framework. Okay, tomorrow we'll continue this topic. Okay, topic is not yet completed. Till now I am not given what is the framework, why framework, and advantage of framework, guys. Just I given these three layers. So by using these three layers, if you are developing your web-based application with servlet, we will get some issues, and because of that issues, slowly we are going to moving into our framework concepts. Guys, are you there, please? Can you hear me, guys? Please. Are you understand?